some outtakes of the Angular Q&A session from Jeremy Elborn, who is the tech lead of the Complete Angular project. He explained also how to test.
You want your tests to be as representative of real life as is practical, right? And some things are not practical in test, right? Making real network requests to your server, that's not practical in test, right? That's going to make your test flaky. It's unnecessary. So, you provide fakes for those things.
But you know what this reminds me of, though?
Mm-hmm.
Integration tests almost. How like integration tests actually go through and like click through things and, register the click events. I know it's not exactly like that, but open, then it check the values, right? Like that reminds me of an integration test style.
Yes, it is much more aligned with the way people have like historically written integration tests. The different types of testing doubles and when you should use them and what they're good for. A test double is anything that exists only in tests that you're using instead of the real implementation. And there are two types of test doubles that developers will commonly use. One is called a mock, and one is called a fake. What I'm creating right here with this Jasmine spy, this is a mock. A mock is something that keeps track of the APIs that you're calling and like when you called them, how many times you called them, what parameters you set when you called them. Mocks are generally very brittle because all mocks are doing are asserting that your code does what you wrote it. Your code calls the functions that you wrote your code to call, not that it serves the purpose that you meant your code to serve. Like you would mostly create fakes when the API that you're using is not practical to use in a test. So the hierarchy is use the real implementation when it makes sense, when it's practical, use a fake when it's available, or sometimes if you have to create your own, that's unavoidable, but a fake is usually better than creating a mock. And only use mocks is really a last resort when you have no other options. If you are refactoring your code and the behavior stays the same, it's not doing anything new, it's not doing anything different. If you cannot change your tests, that's a victory. It means your tests are not brittle and that your tests are actually checking that the code does what you want it to do instead of just being a snapshot of the particular way you wrote that code.
Yeah.